On my fourth day in Galveston, Texas, I decided to start out with, well, how about some more fishing? Now, unlike my first fish trip that hit the water right off the banks of Galveston and kept tight around the island, I met up with my guide Blake up on the coast of the Galveston Bay outside of Texas City at the Top Water Grill. Total contrast, but still very, very cool. Basically, the place looked like somewhere old boats might want to go to die. Hey, but I'm good with that. The place was cool.
I'm here in Texas City, waiting for my fishing trip to start. I'm not sure what kind of boat we're going to have. I hope that's not it. All kind of strange stuff. There's an interesting watercraft. That looks like something that Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn should be sailing through Africa. Now that behind there, that is a lot of shells. Like the names. Ooh, look at this one. That's Miss Joyce. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, gosh, it smells like dead fish out here. Who would have thought? I gotta go find my fishing guide. Just hope he's not over here somewhere.
So, I boarded Captain Blake's boat, and off we went. Although we never left Galveston Bay, I felt like I was out in the middle of the ocean. We even had a shrimp boat and an offshore drilling rig supply boat come chugging right by us. Now out in the deep blue, so it seemed anyway, Blake took me out to some old deserted oil rig platform. And I asked him if the local high school kids ever boated out there to party. Well, Blake just kind of looked at me weird while asking, why would kids want to do that? Apparently, the guy didn't go to school with the same kind of kids that I did. Now, I'm guessing the local fish didn't party there much either. So, Blake took me over to a dear-departed dock that one of the recent hurricanes had wreaked havoc upon. And that's where the fish were partying. And before I could bring up the idea of throwing a party of my own on the busted dock, I was getting some bites. Now here I was pulling up black drums and catfish. I didn't even know there were catfish in saltwater. Now the really cool thing was the fact that every time I got a bite, I didn't know what the heck I was going to discover on the end of my line. I was even pulling up a couple of pretty fish. Pretty fish with sharp fins. A painful fact that I quickly discovered. Well, it ain't an adventure unless you bleed a little, right? What was even cooler though, and more dangerous, was when Blake hooked a stingray.
Like tail, he's got that stinger on there.
Oh, so they will sting you, huh?
Oh yeah.
They're the name stingrays, and
straight to the hospital too.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's why they call them a stingray. Okay, my bad. Now for this trip, Blake was a catch and release guy, which was fine by me. But I did reel in a pretty good sized black drum that he decided to take home to his mother-in-law. Glad I can help out with the family meal there a little. Now, before I hit the road back to Galveston, I stepped in the Topwater Grill for some yummy shrimp linguine. The hostess asked me if I wanted an outside bay view, and I was like, I just spent the last 4 hours out there. I'll take the inside air conditioning, thank you.
All right, here is Blake, and here is his craft.
Blazer Bay.
Blazer, oh, that's the name of it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
24 Blazer Bay.
20
Suzuki on the back.
24 foot?
Uh-huh.
Oh, all right.
Troll motor, the whole 9 yards.
I was going to ask you what were these, one of these cost?
Brand new, about 110.
Oh, no joke. Oh, boy. Oh, I won't be owning one.
As I was wandering around the Strand back in Galveston, I stopped by the Haunted Mayfield Manor. Apparently, this is where they store the bodies of many of those who met their doom during the hurricane of 1900. Now it's a haunted house. I'm not so sure I was exactly their focused demographic. But as far as the cheesy haunted houses go, it was pretty cool, and certainly worth the price of admission. Okay, I'm a little hard to scare in haunted houses, but the spooks there really freaked out some little kid who went before me. Oh yeah. Maybe it was all the body bags hanging from the ceiling that we had to walk through. Maybe I should have been looking for orbs in there. And right next to the Haunted Mayfield Manor was the Pirates of the Gulf Coast Museum. Yes, pirates hung out in Galveston at one time. And here's a little tourist trap to give you all the plundering and pillaging details of those thieving, murdering, former scumbags of yesteryear. Now, it's a cool way to kill a few minutes. Of course, I've read a few books and seen a few documentaries concerning those brutal buccaneers of yesteryear, meaning I didn't see too much there that I didn't already know. However, there was a group of teenagers screwing on behind me, and they seemed to be having a regular buccaneering blast in the place. Who knows? Maybe they'd been out partying on that old oil rig platform in the Galveston Bay.
Here's my last night in Galveston, Texas. Walking on the beach. Got the Ferris wheel over here. Got a full moon up here. Got the ships out here. And the waves coming in. Okay, you really can't see them? Take my word for it. The waves are coming in. I was just out in them not too long ago. Such a romantic setting. Well, I'm out here by myself. Love yourself. Okay, that sounded kind of weird. Anyway, Galveston, Texas, nice place to visit. Lots of fishing, lots of beach, lots of haunted stuff. In fact, I've got another haunted tour to go to in about an hour, so I probably should go wash all this salt water off of me. I wonder where those guys are all going. Who knows? Here I am on the Strand again, getting ready for my Galveston Shadows of Revelry, whatever the heck it is. Some kind of ghost tour. And I believe this is the first time I've ever had a Long Island iced tea in a styrofoam cup. That's interesting. I'm about to drop my phone.
The Galveston Adult Rebel Ghost Tour was a bit like the Red Light Ghost Tour. The tour kicked off down on the Strand, where some guy who was drinking out of a paper bag asked me if I knew anything about algebra. Now, I might have mentioned in passing how I did make an A in my college algebra class, but I wasn't there to solve for X. I was there to learn a bit more about the dark history of Galveston. And our guide walked my tour around the Strand, giving us the goods on what unsavory activities went on in the back alleyways behind the brothels. And where the local mob guys used to do their dirty deeds. And the details on who jumped out of what window and other fun things that took place back in the good old days. My tour consisted of me, the guide, and a couple who looked like they might have spent most of their lives touring with the Grateful Dead. It was fun though. Yes, these small intimate tours are great, but parents should probably leave the kids back at the pleasure pier for this tour. Of course, this was my 4th haunted tour, so by this time, I was getting on a first-name basis with most of the local spooks. Now, the ghost tour that I really wanted to take in was the Haunted Harbor tour. But that one was seriously booked up for the week that I had decided to stop by the Gulf Coast. Okay. I had picked the week of the Ghost Coast Festival for my little Galveston adventure. Now that was something I didn't even know existed. Well, we live and learn.